Well, Pakistan says it's used its influence to get the Afghan Taliban and the United States to talk. Let's go live now to Pakistan's UN Ambassador Masood Khan in New York. Ambassador Khan, how big a role did Pakistan play in setting up these peace talks between the US, Afghanistan and the Taliban?
I think it has been a critical role. It has been a very important role. In fact, when High Peace Council requested us to release the prisoners, we released them. And we have been working behind the scenes with all interlocutors, United States, Taliban and the Afghan government, to persuade them to come to the negotiating table. And we are happy that a movement in that direction has been made.
But it is clear now, though, that a row has started over the status of this Taliban office here in Doha. The Afghans say they see it as some kind of parallel embassy. What do you make of the office and what role it will play in these talks?
This should be seen as a hiccup, a glitch, and this is time for diplomacy and statesmanship, and I think a compromise should be explored to move forward.
But it's more than a glitch, isn't it? I mean, Kabul has expressed deep displeasure at the handling of the peace talks. The Afghan Foreign Ministry even went so far as to accuse the Americans of acting in bad faith. Do you agree with Hamid Karzai's position?
I don't agree. I think that there's some sort of misunderstanding, some miscommunication. And I think that, as President Obama has said, and I think Secretary Kerry has said, that we should work to diffuse tensions and remove misunderstandings. The other thing is that, you see, this should not sputter. The process, after having come this far, this process should not sputter. We should invest our time and energy in making it work.
But Mr. Ambassador, the problem is wider than that, though, because it's not just the issue of the Taliban office here in Doha. You've also made known your deep displeasure over remarks made by the Afghan ambassador, Zahid Tanin. He said that terrorist sanctuaries exist in Pakistan. Has that put further strains on the diplomatic relations between your two countries?
I don't think that this would put any diplomatic strain, but let me tell you, I said two things. First, that we reject these allegations. There are no sanctuaries in Pakistan. And what I highlighted was that terrorists are enemies of Pakistan and Afghanistan. Borders are porous. They are operating on both sides. In many instances, Taliban or the militants, they have planned terrorist attacks on Afghan soil and launched them in Pakistan. But we should not go into blame game. In fact, as diplomats, it is our responsibility to restore confidence and trust. But the second point is that the more serious allegation was that some elements, quote unquote, some elements in Pakistani government thought that pursuing terrorism was part of Pakistan's foreign policy. And this is absolutely nonsense. Okay. And we do not, yes.
Now, I was going to say that, I mean, you can try and paper over the cracks, I suppose, but hasn't the damage been done already? I mean, the Taliban has scored a PR coup. Realistically, let me ask you, how difficult will it be now to get representatives of the Afghan government to sit down with the Taliban? I mean, the last two times they tried to do that, the Taliban blew them up and killed them.
Well, there's a flicker of hope. And as diplomats, we have to continue to explore all possibilities. War is not a solution. War should come to an end as early as possible. All avenues of diplomacy should be explored. And even if there is misunderstanding, we can't just stop this process. I think that we have to restore it and repair the damage that has been done. I think what we need is more communication and not discarding this process altogether.
In your statement to the UN mission on Afghanistan, you said Pakistan's, and I quote here, you said Pakistan's own stability and prosperity depend on peace and security in Afghanistan. So where do the talks go from here? What happens next?
I think absolutely. Yes, there's codependency between Pakistan and Afghanistan. If there is stability in Afghanistan, this would resonate in Pakistan. If there is volatility, this will have its harmful impact on Pakistan. So as far as the talks are concerned, they must go forward. This is for the first time after efforts made for years that you had an engagement between all key stakeholders, the United States and the Taliban, Taliban directly and the United States and Taliban and the Afghan government indirectly. I mean, this is a very good environment, and we must build on it. We must try to restore confidence and trust.
Ambassador Masood Khan, thank you for talking to Al Jazeera.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.